Today's lesson is making travel arrangements. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And we are back making more travel arrangements. This is day 2 of our look at common little problems you might face. Hopefully not, but these are pretty common things that you might have to deal with when traveling. Yesterday, we were dealing with a couple of people who had a bit of bad luck at the airport. Greg and Vera were on their way somewhere. Their flight got delayed, so they had to change a few things. They had to call the hotel and tell them they'll be arriving later, almost like a day later than they expected to. So they were trying to avoid paying for that night at the hotel. That didn't really work out, but they might get a bit of their money back. So that was some good news. And that was Greg talking to the hotel. And then his friend, partner Vera, she was dealing with the shuttle company, sort of the taxi or airport car service that they were going to be using, right?
Yes, and so again, if you're booking this shuttle that is supposed to pick you up from the airport, usually they will stand outside with a little sign that like has your name on it.
Right.
It kind of makes you feel like something like, oh, hey.
Like a VIP celebrity. Yeah.
Yes, but usually it's just the hotel sending it, so it's not really.
And they spell your name wrong.
Yeah, and then you kind of have to go through, it's like, no, that's really me, even though that's not the right name. But yeah, so she's calling the shuttle company and saying, you know, we're not going to be there at the time that we originally said, so can you pick us up at this new time? And the nice thing is for the shuttle company, they can change it without any additional charge. They're just like, yeah, no problem, we'll change it and we'll get you picked up at the right time. A lot nicer or easier than trying to deal with the hotel, because again, there's a lot more people and other things that go into the hotel, and they're not as likely to kind of just say, yeah, sure, we'll give you your money back, because that's just how hotels are.
Let's look at what we're doing today. Bill and Iris are our travelers today, and they are going to be dealing with some check-in issues. So they've successfully reached their destination, but now at the hotel, they're having a few problems. Oh, gosh, this is not fun. Let's see what's going on with them.
3. Dealing with check-in issues. After arriving at their hotel, Bill and Iris encounter an unexpected problem.
Welcome to the Monroe Hotel. May I see your ID and booking information?
Sure, here you go.
Okay, let me just look that up. Oh, I sincerely apologize, but it seems our hotel has been overbooked due to a system error. I see you requested a deluxe suite, and unfortunately we don't have any available now. What? We booked weeks ago. I understand, and I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. To make up for our error, we've arranged a complimentary upgrade at a nearby hotel, including free breakfast and a late checkout time.
Well, that's not ideal, but...
It's better than nothing. Thank you for understanding, and apologies again for the inconvenience.
大家好，第一部分介绍名词 ID， 它是 identification 的缩写，指身份证、身份证明文件。例如 The policeman asked to see the man's ID card. 员警要求查看该男子的身份证。或者 To open a bank account here, you need to present 2 forms of identification. 要在这里开设银行账户，您需要出示2种形式的身份证明文件。另外一句The police officer asked to see some form of personal identification. 该警官要求看某种形式的个人身份证明。往下看到形容词 complimentary， 它的意思是免费赠送的。例如 Every attendee at the wine tasting will receive a complimentary bottle. 每位参加品酒会的人都将获得一瓶免费赠送的酒。也可以说Some hotels welcome guests with a complimentary fruit basket in their rooms. 有些饭店在房间里提供免费的水果篮来欢迎客人。再看一句 At happy hour, the lounge offers complimentary appetizers to customers. 在欢乐时光，酒吧为顾客提供免费开胃菜。另外 complimentary 还有另外一个意思是赞美的。举例 The customer was very complimentary about the chef's new dish. 那位客人对主厨的新菜大加赞赏。或是Shara gave Tim a complimentary remark about his presentation. Shara 对 Tim 的简报给予了赞美的评语。再来看到名词 apology， 表示道歉、认错。例如 Dina sends her apologies for missing the meeting. Dina 为错过会议表示歉意，或是 I accept your apology, but please don't do that again. 我接受你的道歉，但请不要再那么做了。再造一句 Henry gave his sister an apology for breaking her camera. Henry 为弄坏了他姐姐的相机而向她道歉。另外补充这个字的动词 apologize, A-P-O-L-O-G-I-Z-E, apologize. 造个例句Karen apologized for being late to the party. Karen 为派对迟到而道歉。另外一句 I want Dominic to apologize for the rude things that he said. 我要 Dominic 为他所说的粗鲁言语道歉。
Okay, so yes, this is part 3, our third dialogue, dealing with check-in issues. This could actually be at the airport too, because check-in is that general term we use for when you arrive at either an airport or a hotel and you're like, hi, I'm here, I'm ready to use my plane ticket or get into that room that I've booked and paid for. You're checking in, you're registering. It's your formal joining of this group or this effort or this institution, whether it's an airline and a plane flight or a hotel and a room. And while you're staying there, you got to check in first. So it says, after arriving at their hotel, Bill and Iris encounter an unexpected problem. They encounter or they meet an unexpected problem. Some problem arises and they have to deal with it. So we begin with the hotel receptionist with a pretty standard greeting.
Yes, and so the hotel receptionist says, welcome to the Monroe Hotel. May I see your ID and booking information? So a very standard thing. You get there. Although I have to say, I feel like before I never remember showing my ID as much like when I was younger. Maybe just because I was younger. But now a lot of places they ask for your passport even, and they want to see the ID of everybody checking in, not just the person who is actually like had the reservation and things like that. But ID just stands for your identification card or some way of showing who you are. It's usually a government-issued something. It could be a license, it could be a passport, but some way to prove this is me, this is my real name, this is
my face.
Yeah, this is my face. This is who I am.
Picture on it.
And then Bill says, sure, here you go.
All right, so he hands that over, probably his passport if you're an international traveler. That's the easiest ID because, of course, you have to have that with you. And then the hotel receptionist looks at it. Okay, let me just look that up. So they're typing away. They, of course, have Bill's full name, so they know where to look for him in their computer system. And there's a problem. Oh, I sincerely apologize. And this is where my stomach drops and my heart starts beating faster. What? I didn't do anything wrong. What have you guys done to ruin my holiday? Oh, I sincerely apologize. I deeply apologize. I'm really sorry, in other words. But it seems our hotel has been overbooked due to a system error.
Oh, no.
What's going on? This isn't my fault. The hotel is overbooked. Your flight, your airplane trip might also be overbooked. I don't understand why this happens.
I don't either.
They sometimes
terrible.
sell more tickets or book more rooms than they actually have space for. So in other words, there's 100 people can fit in the plane. We're going to sell 110 plane tickets. And 10 people, well, hopefully 10 people just won't show up, or 10 people will be disappointed and inconvenienced. Apparently here, though, it's a system error. So the computer system went crazy. It thought that there were 500 rooms in the hotel when there's only 15 or something like that. And so they don't have enough space for everyone. I see you requested a deluxe suite, and unfortunately, we don't have any available now. So hopefully he'll be able to stay there, but the way he was going to stay there, yeah, that's not going to happen. He wanted a deluxe suite. When you see deluxe in any kind of advertising, it means fancier and nicer and more expensive. So a deluxe holiday will be very nice, 5-star, everything, wonderful food, wonderful hotels. They'll treat you like a king or a queen, but you're going to pay for it. It's going to be more expensive. And suites as well are generally larger hotel rooms. Actually, Actually, deluxe suite, you kind of don't really need that because deluxe means bigger and fancier and suite means bigger and fancier. But generally, if you have a suite in a hotel, it'll be more than one room. You might have the sleeping area sort of closed off with a door and a wall, the bathroom in there, and then you might have like a lounge living room type area, a dining room, maybe even a small sort of kitchen or bar area, this kind of thing. It's very useful if you're a business person. You have a meeting area that you can use away from your sleeping area, but this is a bigger, larger, and more expensive hotel room, and that's what they wanted. That's what Bill wanted, but unfortunately, we don't have any available now. Most hotels might not have that many suites, maybe a couple on the top floors or something like that, and if they're booked up, well, all the other rooms are kind of the standard rooms, and that's the only thing he'll be able to get into, and hopefully he'll get the money back because, of course, the standard room should be much cheaper than the deluxe suite, and Iris, his partner, is not happy.
Yes, and this would be me, of course. but I have to say, it is nice when the hotel, when they make the mistake, because usually they're very sorry and they will help kind of make things up a little bit.
Right.
So
you can just stand there and look angry.
Yes, and so Iris goes, "What? We booked weeks ago." Okay, so they've had this reservation for quite a long time, so this shouldn't be an issue, but unfortunately, there are always sometimes things that go wrong, especially when you're traveling, and the hotel receptionist says, "I understand, and I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. To make up for our error, we've arranged a complimentary upgrade at a nearby hotel." Oh my goodness, they can't even stay at the same hotel. At a nearby hotel, including free breakfast and a late checkout time. Okay, so there's a lot of inconveniences going on here. This word is obviously the opposite of something that is convenient. If something is convenient, it's easy, it's smooth, everything's going well, it's just easy.
It's easy, it's efficient.
That's like why we call 7-Eleven a convenience store, because when you go there, everything's right there and it's easy to get what you want and it's right by and nearby and all that kind of stuff. Well, unfortunately, the opposite of that is something that is inconvenient. It is not easy. It is going against what you had planned. And when you're traveling, you don't want to run into inconveniences. But this is kind of the polite HR way of saying something went wrong and we are sorry about it. So we always say, "I apologize for the inconvenience," instead of just saying, "Sorry for making you mad," or "Sorry for making your..."
our mistake.
Yes. So the way that they usually say that is they use this word inconvenience, like we're sorry that it's not going smoothly. And then they're going to make up for this error. They're going to try to fix it in whatever way that they can. And so they gave a complimentary. A complimentary means free. You might see this term when you are booking a hotel for complimentary breakfast. If you see complimentary breakfast, that means breakfast is free and included in your price, so you don't need to pay extra. And then it's a complimentary upgrade. So we are going to make the room that you get is going to be better than the room that you had first asked for. Because an upgrade is to move you up to the next higher, many higher, depending on how upset that you are and how much they want to make up for it.
What a big mistake they made.
Yes. But they are going to move you to the next higher class of whatever it might be. For a hotel, you have the not so good room gets upgraded to the deluxe suite, gets upgraded to the presidential, or, up.
The royal suite.
Yeah, and for an airplane, you might go from economy to business to first class. So upgrading is to go to a better version of whatever it is that you originally had. And they also included breakfast and a late checkout. So checkout is the time that you are supposed to leave the hotel.
Okay.
And that's usually really early. I always think it's way too early. It's usually like 11 o'clock that you need to be out of your hotel. But if you get a late checkout time, it can sometimes be 12 or 1 p.m. So at least you can kind of be a little bit lazier in the morning.
Right.
So the hotel receptionist is trying to make up for the error and trying to do what they can because they made a mistake and it's not great.
There you go. So yeah, it seems that they're definitely trying here, and hopefully that nearby hotel isn't too far. They're in the same neighborhood, because I think that would be one of the biggest inconveniences. Now you're suddenly far away from all all the things that you were supposed to be next to. And Bill says, well, that's not ideal, but... So he's not happy about this, but he's not super angry, so, okay, grumble, grumble, but fine. And Ira says, she's looking at the bright side, she says, it's better than nothing. They could have just kicked us out and said, you can sleep on the sidewalk, bye, or something like that, which would have been terrible service, but that could have happened. So, it's better than nothing, as she says. At least they're trying. And so the receptionist says, thank you for understanding. Thank you for being kind and not yelling and screaming at me and getting really angry. So thank you for understanding. Thank you for being cool about this, in other words. And apologies again for the inconvenience. So sorry again. Apologies when you say sorry or say, will you forgive me or something like that. That is an apology. This is another way of just saying sorry. Apologies. And so apologies again, or she could actually say sorry again for the inconvenience. Sorry for the trouble that I am bringing to your life through this computer mistake of our hotels. All right, let's take a break, and we're going to be looking at the last thing that could go wrong, booking a private car tour. And I hope this doesn't go wrong at all.
4. Booking a private car tour. Bill and Iris decide to book a private car tour to explore the countryside. Hi, we'd like to book a private car tour to take in the local sights. What options do you have? We offer a wonderful full-day tour, including visits to scenic villages and historic sites. A private driver would pick you up at 9 a.m. in a comfortable air-conditioned car with Wi-Fi and bottled water.
That sounds perfect. How do we pay?
You can pay in advance or upon departure. Cancellations are allowed up to 12 hours before the tour.
Great. Let's confirm a booking then.
Excellent. I'll finalize the details and you'll be all set for tomorrow.
第二部分介绍形容词 scenic， 指的是风景优美的。举例来说 ，The train ride provided scenic views of the countryside。那趟火车之旅提供了乡村的美景。最后一句 ，Taiwan has many scenic bike trails。台湾有许多风景优美的脚踏车道。
And we are back with our fourth and final dialogue. We're booking a private car tour. So this is something you might do if you have a bit of extra time or money, or if you just want things to be really easy. It's not a bus tour. You're probably going to be by yourself, and you'll have a private car and maybe a driver who knows a lot about where you are, and so they can kind of show you around. So this is a great thing to do if you have the extra money, or maybe you're going to a place that isn't super popular. So you can't find a normal tour bus company that goes there, so you have to sort of arrange it on your own. It says Bill and Iris decide to book a private car tour to explore the countryside. So this will allow them to kind of pick where they want to go, pick the route and destination. If you're in Taipei, you might book a private car tour that might take you to Wulai to see the waterfalls, and then up to Jiufen or something like that. A place a bus or whatever would be inconvenient to get to. You can do all this in one day and have a driver go with you. So Bill says, hi, we'd like to book a private car tour to take in the local sites. What options do you have? So he's looking into this idea and seeing how possible and how attractive it could be.
Yes, and here he's still talking to the hotel receptionist, because that's the nice thing about booking through like a hotel and things like that. A lot of times they have connections to a lot of different car tours or zip lining or all this kind of fun stuff. They have a lot of different ways that they can get in touch with these different things that you might want to do.
Activities.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes they even have an actual person whose whole job is to do that.
Oh, cool.
And so the hotel receptionist says, we offer a wonderful full-day tour, including visits to scenic villages and historic sites. A private driver will pick you up at 9 a.m. in a comfortable air-conditioned car with Wi-Fi and bottled water. I didn't know that a car could have Wi-Fi, but that's great.
Yeah.
And so they're going to visit some scenic villages and historic sites. If something is scenic, it is just something that is very, very beautiful. It's something that you want to see, that's nice to see, nice to look at. When you say that you want to see the sights, then you are hopefully going to go to places that are very scenic or very interesting to look at, pretty, beautiful, wonderful, all that kind of great stuff. kind of like seeing a scene out of a movie, just beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah, lovely landscape. So these scenic villages, places, you'll look at the land, from like up on a mountain near Taipei 101, and you see the whole city below you, that kind of thing. And historic sites, so famous places in history like Zhoufen, you could call that a historic site. Anping Fort down in Tainan, places like that, places with sort of an interesting story from history that have been there a long time. And how will they do it? Well, a private driver, kind of like your own personal taxi driver sort of thing, will pick you up at 9 a.m. in a comfortable air-conditioned car, probably a very nice car, and they'll have Wi-Fi, they'll have bottled water, they'll probably show you where you can stop and have lunch, answer your questions, show you around a little bit. Sounds great, and Iris says, that sounds perfect, that sounds wonderful, that sounds fantastic. How do we pay? So, in other words, are we going to pay you? Do we pay the driver? Can we use a credit card? How do we finish off this arrangement?
Yes, and then the hotel receptionist says you can pay in advance or upon departure. Cancellations are allowed up to 12 hours before the tour. It says there are different ways that you can pay. It's very convenient. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. It'll be great. And that's what Iris says. She says, great, let's confirm a booking then. All right, they want to get it confirmed. They want to say, yes, for sure, we would like to go on this trip, and we want to confirm it, book it, ready to go, and we'll be ready for you in the next day.
She is reaching for her wallet to get her credit card out to finish this off. And the hotel receptionist says, excellent, great, fantastic. I'll finalize the details. I'll get in touch with the company, get the driver here, tell them the time, all that stuff, and fill out the form to pay you with your credit card. So I'll finalize the details. I'll finish off all the necessary work, and you'll be all set. You'll be all ready for tomorrow. So there you go. Sounds like they're in for a great time. And I'm glad the final dialogue ended up with no problems,
finally.
Right? We had airport delays, we had hotel delays, we had hotel overbooking problems, but now they're going to have hopefully a relaxing day with their private tour tomorrow. Well, we have a private tour of English with Henny, our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在课文第二部分的对话里， Bill 和 Iris 想预定私人包车旅游，游览当地的景点。饭店接待员在讲到付费方式跟取消政策时，有说一句 Cancellations are allowed up to 12 hours before the tour。启程12小时前可以取消行程。这边他用到 up to 表示多达、高达什么什么，后面通常会接表示数字啊、数量等等的名词。例如 The meeting room can hold up to 50 people。那间会议室能容纳多达50人。顺便补充 up to 的其他用法。第一个，我们用事物当主词的时候 something be up to somebody 表示什么什么是某人的责任，什么什么由某人来决定。所以像我们说 it's up to you 就表示由你决定，你决定就好。第二个，用人当主词的话 somebody be up to 加上名词或动名词，它会有两种意思。第一种意思是表达某人有能力做某事，有能力去处理或执行某事，像Do you think they are up to the challenge? 你认为他们有办法应付那个挑战吗？那另外一个表达意思是某人在计划某事，偷偷做某事，尤其是不好的事情。像有一个用语 up to no good 就可以用来表达图谋不轨的那种语义。好，第三个我们可以用 up to 来表达跟 until 差不多的语义，像 up to yesterday 直到昨天， up to this point到此刻为止，到目前为止。好，最后 Iris 他们确定要预定了。饭店接待员说I'll finalize the details and you'll be all set for tomorrow. 我把细节做最后确认，您们明天就一切就绪了。Be all set 它就是表达准备好了，一切准备就绪。Set 在这边是当形容词，表达准备好的、就绪的。那么 all 是强调用法，表示充分地、完全地。我们用 be all set 之后可以接 for 加名词，或是接不定词 to be。例如 I'm all set for the job interview。我已经做好工作面试的准备了。We're all set to go. 我们一切都准备好，可以出发了。好，顺便补充一下 set 当形容词的其他用法。第一个，我们可以用 be set to 加上原形动词来表达预定要怎么样，准备好要怎么样。Set 在这边是表达预定的、安排好的。例如 The parade is set to begin at 2 p.m. 那场游行预定在下午2点开始。 第二个补充的是 be set on 加上名词或动名词，这表示决心要怎么样。那么 set 这边是表达坚决的下定决心的。例如 He has been set on becoming an actor since he was a child. 他从小就下定决心要成为一名演员。好，那以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾这些单字吧。
ID. Eric was able to get a small discount by showing his student ID. Inconvenience. I hope this change of schedule won't be an inconvenience for you. Upgrade. The airline booked too many people for business class, so Fran received an upgrade to first class. Apology. Trent owes Lizzie an apology for his rude behavior last night. Scenic. While hiking up the mountain, we paused to enjoy the scenic view.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Sam.
See you next time.